Hi, Loretta Friedrich here, creative director of Your Food Story and organizer of the Food Story and Recipe Project, collecting them from across Canada to honor tradition, heritage, community, family, and you. You probably have been wondering, what is this story about? Or you may have read some information already. So for all of you who are interested in what this project is about, what I am going to do is read you a story I've created. And no, this one won't necessarily be in the book. Yes, this will be a book. The collection is going to be published. Every contributor will have one page. There will be a story at the top, and at the bottom of the page will be the recipe. And the story itself is one that will have, some sort of memory or experience that will be part of where are you and who are you with, what food item is what's really taking you in and wanting to share. And that recipe is really the center of that story. The words itself, 300 max words, will be there for us to, of course, read, and you'll be part of this collection, like I mentioned, that will, from across the land, from north to south and east to west, be published. I know I mentioned that already. And it'll be a legacy. So not just for you, but generations to come. And honoring your legacy as well, with that tradition or the focus on community and family. So here's a story to give you an idea of how long 300 words are, or this one is actually, I think it's like 270 words. To give you an idea of how long this story is, and you might be pleasantly surprised that it's not as long as you might think. So here we go. Here's my story. I can't remember a time without root vegetables in storage awaiting their usage. Potato pancakes or baked, scalloped, and mashed potatoes dance in my head, along with plenty of freshly harvested carrots to enjoy in soups, stews, or baked goods. I have eaten carrots, pickled, broiled, roasted, pureed, and steamed, and in other ways as well. Never mind raw for all its crunchy goodness. Another vegetable that is typically on hand in the late summer and early fall are red beets. As a child, I remember enjoying many bowls of red beet borscht, typical food consumed by my Ukrainian by heritage family. I continue this harvest tradition with my own family. They can't wait to eat every batch I make. It has become a way of saluting garden fresh produce in every savory slurp. While experimenting, I came up with a new favorite recipe that showcases all the love of potatoes, carrots, red beets, and more in a chowder. What really makes this time special is seeing the grins from ear to ear even before my family tastes it. The anticipation is thrilling. While it can seem like a humble meal, I consider it a party in my mouth when I eat it. The sweetness of the red beets along with the carrots prop up the flavor. I suggest that even those who don't especially like the earthy taste of beets like I do would go back for seconds, or dare I say thirds. We love it with Monterey Jack cheese slices on top. Come rejoice with me, down to earth, literally, good food. And bring your family. It's mealtime. So that's 270 words or so. It's about a half a page. And you can hopefully sense my love of these vegetables and how the family enjoys it. And it's just really a good moment to celebrate the garden fresh produce. And so that is kind of like what I'm asking for you to do. If you've got a chowder recipe, go ahead and submit it. It's not about me sorting and sifting and filtering so that, we only have one recipe for one kind of meal. If I get a whole handful of kind of like the same, pierogi recipe or something like that, or some jam or some desserts or anything like that, that's okay. What I'm really hoping is that you dig deep, find something that really gives you that pleasurable moment, that time where you gather around the table. And it doesn't have to be your own recipe, and oh, for heaven's sakes, you wouldn't have had to create the recipe yourself. But you certainly want to get permission from whoever has created the recipe. And your grandmother, your uncle, your child, anybody who's created this recipe and you've enjoyed it. And I'm looking for these food stories to represent your province or where you grew up, so that we really get a flavor from across the land. So, will you join me? I know a lot of you have already expressed interest, and I so thank you for being on board. Others, you're kind of sitting on the fence. And what you need to do now is think about what thrills you when it comes to a food memory or something that brings you joy, and start writing about it and have that recipe handy. The cost to you for publishing is nothing. I'm going to look after that, and also professional editing. So have somebody proofread it, and then you could send it to me to yourfoodstory@gmail.com or yourfoodstory@gmail.com. So it's the letter U, the letter R, foodstory@gmail.com. So I've created a whole new email address to accept these emails, and that way I can keep everything all nicely organized. So yourfoodstory@gmail.com. You don't have to send me the recipe or the food story already. I've got a guide I'd like to send you that will give you even more information and a little bit about timelines and deadlines. So, are you in? Let's get this going, and this might be the only time you'll have to publish some kind of memory of your loved one, or the backyard barbecue, or when you're at a picnic, or you're back in somebody's kitchen. Let's be there with you. yourfoodstory@gmail.com. I say bye for now, and go look for those recipes and create a story from it. Bye.